Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is March 17th, 2019, and we are doing gaming news. I'm Astrid Aphid, and I am joined by my host.
I'm Retconned.
And I am Calabash.
We've got a bunch of articles to talk about today. Retcon, you want to start us off talking about the Halo Master Chief Collection finally coming to the PC? I know so many of you are just dying to play Halo again.
Yeah, I mean, sure, we can skip introductions and go straight into Halo, the Master Chief Collection, because, oh man, I'm sure everybody's excited about this. Just the fact that we're seeing Microsoft bringing these games to Steam is a huge, huge change from previous Microsoft
it really
business model.
Shows you how desperate they are, and they just gave up on their own Microsoft store and was like, fuck it. You know what? Just sell it on Steam. We'll go ahead and just give them a percentage, because we're terrible at marketing our own games.
And then another announcement as far as the Master Chief Collection goes is Reach is being added to it, which is... I never played Reach. I don't know if it's a good game, but I guess if you're a fan of Reach, hey, hooray. Great for you.
I feel so old.
What?
Do you remember Halo?
Yeah.
I remember Halo.
I remember Halo.
It's been so long though. Like
Zombies.
I remember Halo, I remember Halo 2, and then I remember Halo 3, and then I remember stopping.
Yeah, like I just... Like, is 4K 60 FPS going to bring you back to play through the whole entire campaign? I've already defeated it on Legendary. Steam. What else do I need to do?
You need to see it in fancy
4K. And, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm a big enough Halo fan to do that.
When it goes on sale.
Yeah. How much would you pay for the entire Master Collection?
Oh, like $30.
Oh wow.
$20.
Oh wow. Alright, you hear that, Microsoft? We value your hard work and franchise of remastering the entire thing in
is it
4K textures. I don't know, I'd fucking assume so. Why wouldn't they?
Well, I mean, if that's the case...
It depends on how it looks, honestly. If it looks like a modern game, then...
If they're trying to charge me a shitload of money for this, I don't know how I would feel about that. Does it mention a price in this article at all? I'm sorry, I didn't read it on garbage.
No, they haven't announced any prices yet.
But that's kind of what I'm curious at. Like, if it was all 4K and like 60 FPS, I would think they would sell it for like $100.
Yeah,
so
I would pay half that.
I mean...
$50 at the max.
While I could see them doing that, I can't see them selling a lot of copies by doing that.
Yeah.
Because that would be like...
But they had to have put a lot of work into it.
$20 a game.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'd be impressed, honestly, if they sell it for 60. So, like, anything below 60, I'm gonna, like, faint and be like, oh my goodness, who took over Microsoft? Do you know what the fuck you're actually doing for once? Is that why you put it on Steam? Did you fire someone? I would be really amazed, though, seriously. So I'm going to throw out the estimate of $100 and be amazed if it sells for 60. I feel like $20 for each game being remade sounds reasonable. And that's with the assumption of they're all 4K, 60 FPS. That's a very high assumption of mine. But that's what we want. That's what we're looking for when you do a remake. So I'm just throwing that out there.
But this isn't even really a remake I want.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But any game that you remake, that's, I mean, for technical standards, that's my minimum.
You know what?
I don't even care about 4K, actually. I just need 1080p. I'll be honest. The vast majority of people don't have 4K monitors. They don't have 4K TVs. So the fact that it's in 4K is just, a cherry on top of the cake.
Right.
60 FPS, though, that's... you better bring that shit. I want no 30 FPS. My eyeballs can't handle it. Grown accustomed to luxurious way.
They just need to remaster, or just, remaster Age of Empires 2. Like new engine and everything.
I won't disagree with that. That'd be a great game.
Just make another Age of Empires game with those.
Yeah. And don't make it on mobile, you fucks.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
And don't
I don't play my
shitty,
strategy games on my mobile
Age of Empires
phone.
3. That game is garbage.
Just redo 2 with new graphics.
Yeah, that.
well, let's go ahead and jump into our next article. You want to talk about this? Because I don't want to talk about it.
Well, I mean,
I just saw it on Reddit, and that's why I brought it up. It's pretty...
Valve decides to take down 100 Steam profiles that are celebrating terrorism, specifically related to what happened at the New Zealand mosque.
Yeah, that was what, Thursday or Friday?
I'm one of those types of people that I'm just like, merely talking about it also like gives credence to its policy.
That's true.
Yeah, but let's not talk about the act. Just let's talk about the censorship that Steam performed, which I guess is a good thing. The fact that they're not going to allow inciting violence.
Interesting segue. I watched the Joe Rogan podcast, and where they had the people who are responsible for censoring Twitter on there, and they had like a 3-hour fucking discussion about how one guy was like, well, in the United States we have the freedom of speech. We're allowed to say all this derogatory, hateful shit, and you can't do anything about it. And they're just like, well, actually, we're a private platform, so we're just gonna fucking ban.
Yeah.
And it was just like this adorable, like,
yep.
Hey, both of them are right. And like, also the other thing was, they're like, we do have offices in the United States, but Twitter is like a global platform. And same thing will apply to Steam. Same conversation can be had. It's a private platform. They have the right to moderate. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you about it.
Yep, but I mean, it just goes with them recently censoring the Rape Day game, like we discussed last week.
Yep, for sure. And again, that's also, they're kind of pulling point the finger at the community and also pointing at the TOS and saying, well, he's also trolling. But the community did say that they hated the game. So the community helped finally remove it off of Steam. Yep. I'm surprised it took months for them to finally find something that they could just be like, no, you know what, this is fucked up. Because usually the internet's a very accepting place. I think it was Felicia Day said, you're only weird once, except when you're on the internet.
Right.
But yeah. Let's go ahead and jump into our next article about Epic Games. They basically plan to do a bunch of more additional features. And there's this lovely, what is this called?
I guess it's a roadmap.
No, the Trello board?
Yeah, it's a Trello board. I don't exactly know what Trello is, so it's really weird to see it here, and they didn't post it on their official forums or something like that. It's just really odd that they decided to do this.
I'm kind of interested more in the Trello board than the actual content, to be honest, because I'm like, it is a very nice way of laying out all this information. Mm-hmm. It's fucking color coded. It's dated. I'm like, hey, that's a lot better than a fucking spreadsheet.
Yeah, you can see that they're going to have cloud saves in the next 1 to 3 months. User reviews in 4 to 6. Achievements in more than 6 months. And a shopping cart. And then gifting is going to be decided in a while.
Yeah, so just to highlight some features real quick. They basically discussed their recently shipped features is the store search feature. That's kind of fucking laughable, the idea that they had to just program in the store search feature.
That didn't go at launch.
Yeah,
when you have all of 6 games.
I guess
That's
it just
true.
doesn't matter, because it's just, we can see them all within the same pane.
You guys can scroll, right?
Yeah.
The free game notification, I'm assuming they're just giving people games and there was no notification to let them know that it was there.
Right, you gotta know that you got your free copy of Fortnite.
Yeah, code redemption improvements, I'm guessing...
not sure what that is.
I'm guessing that's when you get a code in order to redeem inside the Epic Store, and for some reason it's just...
How bad was it before?
Yeah.
Install management under the hood overhaul.
Collections and bundles, which I assume is them doing their old... Didn't they produce the Quake games, or is that a different series they did?
Big game.
Yeah. Or is it Unreal Tournament? It's Unreal Tournament.
Okay, yeah, you're thinking of something else. Yeah, collections and bundles. Them basically just talking about there's going to be developers that they signed exclusivity deals, so they're gonna say, hey, since we signed an exclusivity deal, I guess we also can just bring all of our games here and you can buy them all on this shitty platform that doesn't have cloud saves.
And you can finally play those shitty games offline because they added offline mode functionality.
Yay! You're not just DRM garbage. Congratulations, you are now level 1 of a game store. You're level 1. Before you were just DRM. Now you're level 1. Congratulations, Epic Games. Let's get to level, I don't know, 1,000? You think that's where Steam's at now?
Yeah.
They say they've enabled preloading, speaks for itself.
Oh boy.
Regional pricing, I'm not gonna lie, I never understood how important this was until people on the Reddit forum just talked about, hey, here's an example of all of the games that I could buy, and here's an example of the Epic Games Store. And because of the way their currency works, and they're making like dollars a day, and there's no currency regional pricing, it's like the cost of their house to buy that game, right? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, it's literally 100 times more than what Steam would normally charge them. And it's just because, like, they're in a country that they're getting next to nothing. And that's like the last place on the planet I think about video games being at, and the game industry being at, but that's a huge thing. So props to them for adding regional pricing, especially if they do it in all of the places that actually matter.
Yeah.
And not just like Australia, where they can charge 130% more because of taxes for regional pricing. Under near term, 1 to 3 months, they say improvements to offline mode, install management under the hood overhaul, as we mentioned earlier, store video hosting, so that way it's not just fucking screenshots, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Right.
that seems right.
Watch a trailer of the game before you buy it.
Store page redesign, they realize it's garbage and needs more stuff. Improved DLC support with multi-SKU. I should know what that means, and I don't off the top of my head. Cloud saves. We're looking forward to the cloud saves. If you don't get it done in 3 months, we'll do more than just wag our finger at you. It's really more than just quality of life. It's like a basic requirement on PC. Add-on purchase checks.
Are they talking about DLC here? What's
Add-on purchase checks. I don't know what the fuck that means, unless there's add-ons that aren't DLC.
Oh, they have a target date for May on cloud saves.
Yeah. Maybe there's purchasable add-ons that are not DLCs, like the Steam Workshop related stuff that they might want to sell. Improved patch sizes. I guess
Those are scary words right there.
I guess they're going to try to make the patches smaller so that way it doesn't take as long when you're updating your Epic Game Store. I assume that's been a complaint in the past. Midterm, 4 to 6 months. I'm going to blow through this real quick. User reviews, wish list, news feed, and follow improvements, price adjusting bundles, additional payment methods, additional currencies, player playtime tracking,
Yeah.
mod support for games.
Mod support's exciting, and
Additional currencies is one of those things where it's like, you probably should have done that during the same time you were doing regional pricing, because now I'm thinking if you didn't do additional currencies, the places that actually matters.
are those currencies based off different areas, or are those like different game currencies?
No, that's currencies based off of different.
Okay.
I'll put my foot in my mouth otherwise. I'm pretty sure that's what they're explaining. They probably, except the big five, the USD, the British, the yen, and all the other shit that I don't remember. Let's go to long term, 6 months, achievements, a shopping cart. My website has a shopping cart. Why doesn't your website and your professional fucking thing have a shopping cart? What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
Jesus. What if I want to buy 2 games at once?
You go through twice.
Yep. Actually, Steam is just as bad about that, because I want to gift more than 1 game, and it's just like, no.
Multi-gifting.
Yeah.
I need it.
Yeah, come on, Steam. They're just afraid. raid people, steal people's accounts, and gift games.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's
I feel like that's solid.
Direct carrier billing, so you can charge your credit cards directly. Social overhaul, so you can attach your Facebook account to your fucking Epic Games. And then dates to be determined. Automated refunds. Who the fuck knows when that will happen?
For now, deal with our customer service.
Arabic store translation? That is very specific about things we don't care about and haven't assigned the date to. Korean game releases. Same thing. Who knows when? Gifting? Who knows when? Android store? Who knows when?
To be fair, no, I guess that would probably be the app, right? The Android store, like the Steam app? Or would that be something different?
I'm assuming they're gonna put the Epic Games Store on the Android store.
Okay.
I don't understand why you would want to put the Android store on the Epic Games Store. It would have to be vice versa.
Well, some kind of like Android games would be sold on the Epic Store and exclusive to it. You couldn't get them through the Play Store. Kind of like the Amazon.
I don't know. That would be weird because, as far as I know, they're only PC right now. Right. But yeah, maybe. I don't know. To be determined.
I assume it's the app.
Yeah. We'll see in the future. To be determined. But
is Fortnite just an app on the phone then?
I've never played it on the phone, so I don't know how that
works.
works. I assume it's on the Google Play Store.
Sure.
And I assume there's a million clones trying to get you to download the fake Fortnite with different alternate spellings because kids don't know which one's the right one.
Fortnite.
Let's go ahead and jump into our next article, introducing No Man's Sky Beyond.
Yeah, finally, No Man's Sky Beyond, which is basically multiplayer, finally being added to their game. We're finally going to be completing it after more than 2 years.
Yeah, I mean,
way to go.
I really want to talk to Nathan about this because he's the only one.
He likes it.
He's the only one I know that's gone and bought in the game after all of the negative reviews, but they were already
fixing it.
Trying their hardest to fix it. But they're talking about adding multiplayer support, and that's always an amazing thing. It's just, I literally remember being on a stream, watching them on Twitch where two guys are trying to find each other on the same planet, them realizing they're in the same location, and that there's no multiplayer support. And it's just like, that was promised in the base game, and, that guy made a lot of promises, whoever their director, whoever the guy was.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just like, great news. Now when it's in Steam on sale, I'll probably buy it.
Yeah.
Because it has a vast majority of the features that it originally was supposed to have.
Right, it's just kind of ridiculous. It's the poster child of games that were none finished and finally finished afterward and took a while. Like, this game should have not come out until
now.
Yeah.
One of the other podcasts that I listened to, they talked about how back in the day, games were fully funded, and like betas were things that you kept in studio house, and really it's just flopped on its head where everybody else is funding the game, and it's not funded by independent people anymore, and then they're giving the audience the game because they funded it in the first place, but it's really, really bad garbage, and then they have to milk all of those whales to get more money to then make actual content of what should have been originally in the game, which would be in the final product that we normally get in a AAA title. And it's gotten to the point where even AAA titles, though, get away with sending out games that are incomplete. Because they can just say, oh, well, we'll do patches, we'll do DLC. And it's like, no, I want the finished product. It amazes me when there's independent developers and like you get their first game and it's so fucking polished. It's unbelievable. And they're like one-man developer team. And you're like, how? Like
15 years of my life.
Yeah, like that's the thing though. They took the fucking time.
Yeah.
But they're like, I would never want to publish an incomplete product because people would look at me and think bad quality. And instead, we just have fanboys that are like, oh, well, forgive them and love the game regardless.
It's like EA's the Walmart of the video game industry.
That's a good way to put it. Hashtag fuck EA.
Yep.
Let's make it trending. Because you like doing Twitter, don't you? Alright, let's go ahead and skip to the next article. Warner Brothers and Turtle Rock Studios announce Back 4 Blood.
What the fuck is that?
Turtle Rock Studios created Left 4 Dead.
So they will be making a new co-op zombie shooter.
Oh.
Yep, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be some kind of sequel to Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, or if it's supposed to be a spiritual successor. But the naming convention is similar, and it's the same type of game. Is it them coming back and trying to stop the zombie invasion, or is it its own thing?
I will say that the base idea for me liking Left 4 Dead was the multiplayer aspect of you being able to play the special zombies or being able to play the survivors. So if they can bring that idea back, I think there's a big idea for that type of like arena play.
Yeah.
But I also think zombies are like dead as a doornail right now, and I don't know why you'd want to. I mean, this might be 2-3 years down the line where this finally pushes out. Maybe it comes back into play again, but yeah, like I am not interested in a zombie shooter.
Yeah. But we might not be the target demographic.
Yeah. To the point where I was even thinking about what's that PlayStation exclusive of the guy and the chick, Joel. What I'm talking about.
Last of Us.
Last of Us, where I was like, when they come out with another one, I'm kind of gonna feel the same way. Like I'd love to play it because it'll be like an amazing storyline, but it'll also be infected. I'm just so tired of
Those type of stories.
Yeah, like I just don't care. Unrelated note, Alien announced them doing like a big anniversary, and so they gave all of these tiny directors the ability to do miniature Alien movies, and all of them basically did like the same idea where it was like stranded on an alien planet, infected with an alien. And it's like, guys,
why do you all suck so hard?
like creativity, where is it? It's just dead. But yeah, it's dead. It's on the floor. It's a dead horse, and we just beat it to death.
Yep.
And then we make remakes out of it, and then we prop it up and put it in 4K.
Because that makes it alright.
Yep, it's alright. It's 60 FPS. That's what matters. But yeah, I hope their game is successful. I really do worry about them coming out with a zombie game 2-3 years from now. How people will feel about it. I love the multiplayer aspect though that they did in the original one.
Cooperative multiplayer games are pretty awesome.
Yep. Let's go ahead and jump to Doom Annihilation.
Yeah, so this movie looks
terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say great sarcastically, but yeah, it's gonna look terrible.
My heart kind of leapt because the word annihilation popped up, and I was like, "Oh, Annihilation! That movie's fucking amazing. Maybe it has something to do with that movie." Nope. And then I was like, "Doom! Oh, well, maybe they'll do a good Doom movie." Nope. Watch the trailer. That ain't gonna happen.
You somehow made something worse than the Rock one.
It actually looks like a B movie.
We should totally rewatch the Doom movie with The Rock.
I've never actually seen it.
It's pretty entertaining.
There's that solid 30-second scene though
where they're in first person.
Yeah, and it's so funny because it's like if they just did that, everyone would be happy. But they didn't do that. Like they could have made a movie where it was literally just someone pretending to be in a video game, and it would have been better than the movie they made. And that says so fucking much about that movie, where it's like, no, that 30-second scene that was solid. So yeah, you can look up Doom Annihilation and watch the trailer, and
be disappointed,
and be very disappointed, and be like, video game movies are usually bad. I don't know who's involved in that, but it just doesn't look good. It looks cheap. It'll be I wouldn't
let it be released if I were.
looks just like
Doom.
the Alien Anniversary movies. Like, it's just so fucking low budget that it's just like, roll your eyes. Like, come on. Like, you're given the gift of Doom. Make my nightmares come to life. And they're just like, no thanks. It'll just be a shoot 'em up with military guys going in space. And they'll mention hell one time.
There'll be demons killing them.
Maybe it's not even demons, and that's one of the biggest problems. Is they love to say, "Oh, well, it's an alien experiment. Oh, a pathogen got out," and I'm like, "No, it's the devil."
Demons.
Yeah,
And Doom Guy is really mad.
yeah, for real. Make just someone super angry, like frothing at the mouth, like insanity. Let's go ahead and jump on to the next article, which is about the Steam Link. Can you fix that?
I will fix that little
My ultrasonic ears picked up some nail scratching on glass. Yeah. The Steam Link used to just be attached to the Steam Box, and the Steam Box was a $50 piece of hardware which allowed you to stream from your PC to your TV. You plug the Steam Box into your TV. But now they've basically updated it so that way you can stream with the Steam Link anywhere. You can basically be anywhere in the world and be streaming from your PC, say to a hotel room in Japan, as long as you had a high enough internet speed connection. They're claiming that it will work.
That's
whether
awesome.
Whether or not there's terrible latency, they're just not saying.
Yeah. It'll work.
Yeah, if you have the internet connection, it'll work. We talked about previously on another podcast about Google Stream. Google Stream was showcased using Chrome, where they were playing Assassin's Creed through Chrome. Yeah, honestly, it just looked like they were playing a video. But they've came up with another project called Google Yeti, where it's going to be a subscription-based service where you get a Google game controller that looks a lot like your atypical Xbox controller, and you'll plug in a Chromecast into the TV, and for like $13 a month is the number that they pitched, you'll just be able to get any game streamed from their server to your TV. And the awesome thing would just be you just carry around that little dongle, that controller. You could go anywhere, and it would just pick up the internet connection and just stream that video game to that device.
Provided it runs well and it's actually that cheap and they have a good selection of games. I mean, damn.
It's an awesome idea. The question is always whether or not it works.
Yeah.
Also, Microsoft is trying to compete in the same fashion about video game streaming services. They have Project X Cloud, where they want to allow you to use your computer or your Xbox One to stream your games from those devices, but they're allowing you to do it to a tablet through 4G wireless, which I don't know why you would want to do that. All I can think about is kids. Like, I guess, but why else would you do it? Like, if you're in your house, I mean, I guess you don't even have to be in your house because it's through 4G wireless. You could be out and about. I just don't know. Like, it's really trying to encourage more mobile playing on tablets more than anything else. Maybe they're trying to sell you a Microsoft Surface Book. I don't know. But you can see in the upcoming next year probably that all these services are going to come out and try to compete as another like $10 to $15 subscription service that you'll tack on as a bill, so that way you can have all of these games that you have access to. And honestly, for the population that just isn't capable of purchasing high gaming PCs, that will be an awesome alternative.
Yeah.
You just have to have good enough internet, and you can forego buying the $1,000 fucking computer. That seems legit. I hope it works out, and I can't wait for all these services to come out. I just hope that they're half as good.
Effective.
Yeah, I hope they're just literally half as good as what they say they are, because that in itself will just be impressive. You want to talk about this?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The new hero for Overwatch, Baptise, comes out on March 19th. He seems pretty legit. It's a new support hero, the 30th overall hero. And has burst fire rifle, shoots biotic grenades, has an invulnerability field, which seems pretty broken.
As a regular ability.
Yeah, as a regular ability.
That's
His
what
ult
blows
is
my mind.
Basically just a or kind of like a biotic grenade field and a mercy boost at the same time. So like improved healing and damage.
I really wonder how the immortality field is going to work. That seems like it'll be amazing and super clutch.
Oh yeah.
I remember in like Warcraft days, maybe even World of Warcraft, you could do the Paladin bubble.
Yep.
And then eventually they were like, man, that's so overpowered. You gotta give someone the ability to dispel it.
To get rid of that.
Yeah.
Well, my guess is they're heavily counting on CC or like movement abilities, things that move opposing players, because to counter him heavily. They're trying to change the meta with him.
For sure, yeah, definitely.
Because it's goats right now, which is basically just D.Va, Zarya, Ryan, and then Lucio, Zenyatta, and Brigitte. Lots of AoE healing, a trance, and then you just count on tanks to kill everything.
Yeah.
It's fun and dumb.
It's fun and dumb at the same time.
Yep.
That's our Overwatch quote for today. But yeah, I look forward to seeing this guy in action.
Some of those skins look kind of dope.
Yeah.
That one looks kind of cool.
Spec Ops and Buccaneer.
I bet Buccaneer's dumb.
Oh, those are the
See,
ones
that
I'm
one's
previewing.
He kind of just reminds me of a soldier skin, though. Kind of just question, like, he just looks like soldier, but plays like.
That's the Spec Ops one. This is the Buccaneer one.
Okay, Buccaneer isn't as bad as I thought it would be.
But yeah,
Yarr.
they posted some nice little intro shots on Twitter that we will not link below. You'll have to search for them through the internet because I'm a terrible person. Let's go ahead and jump to our next article. Fortnite. Their crossplay on the Switch has been dramatically changed. Probably for the better, honestly. By default, they will no longer matchmake with PS4, Xbox One, and PC because PC Master Race. Also, the Switch just basically can't keep up with the other console.
That's depressing.
I mean, it has a shit wireless card.
Yep.
Excuse my language.
So their recent patch basically allowed them to separate all the groups. They made a group for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. They made another group for Switch, iOS, and Android. All of those groups will be two different groups that will play separately through matchmaking. However, if you have a friend on console, they can still invite you and do crossplay. It's just by default you are no longer paired against people on superior devices. So you scrubs can finally play on equal terms. Except for Switch, who's just going to own all those people on the phone. And I think that'll be hysterical that like the king of Switch on the cell phone world will be a guy on a Switch. But I look forward to seeing them complain about that because the developers, man, I watched like a 2-hour video of them talking about how hard they tried to balance it just so that everything would render on the same level between a cell phone, a PC, and a console. And this basically is them accepting defeat and saying fuck and flipping the table and saying it doesn't work. Yeah, none of it works. It's not working at all.
Giant waste of our time.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I was really impressed by what they did, and evidently it just didn't work out. So, I look forward to hearing more about it, and hopefully, hopefully it'll just be more of a success. Hopefully, their work wasn't for nothing. Trial and tribulation in the gaming industry. Don't know how to do it right until you do it wrong.
I mean, at least they tried to have everybody play together.
Yeah, they did the perfect, utopia idea where it was like, oh, it'll be a wonderful world. And
Just
everybody was like, no.
No,
We're terrible on
I
cell
don't
phones.
believe you.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and jump into our next article. Sega pulls the new Yakuza game after the voice actors caught with cocaine. Cocaine in the membrane. Yeah, so this voice actor, I don't remember his name, he apparently also voice acted Olaf in the Frozen movies for Japan, not for the English side.
Right, and he also voiced the character in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Correct.
So that is going to be updated, only the Japanese version, with his voice changed in a patch.
Yeah, so Japan is so crazy about drug use, especially when it's super famous people that shouldn't have to do drugs, that they just throw the book at them. For this guy failing one drug test and testing positive for cocaine, he faces up to 7 years in prison for just doing a line of coke, man.
Yep.
That's wild.
Hollywood would just laugh in their face. And meanwhile, like he said, retcon, instead they're going to literally pull his previous work from the Kingdom Hearts 3 series, replace it with another voice actor, because they don't want to incentivize children to do drugs.
Wow.
I mean, the leap of knowledge there is just crazy.
And of course, they are also canceling the game that he is voicing about gangsters.
Yeah, so he's not
Shocker.
allowed to do that anymore, and they suspended the sales of Yakuza. So it's just like, damn, like he failed one drug test and now his life is just fucked.
And he ruined the game.
Meanwhile, if he was in America, nothing would have happened.
Yeah, nothing really would have happened.
He also would have never got drug tested because he's a voice actor.
Yeah.
Because, what? Is he taking performance-enhancing drugs for his voice acting?
Cocaine to speed faster.
And for people who have played the Yakuza games, yes, it's the character that you think it is. Yes, you're not surprised that he does coke. Yes, it's funny.
Is his character a cokehead?
It's just, there's very energetic people that he portrays. So, people aren't like, oh, that guy of all of the guys? It's like, oh, yeah, I could see him doing a line like right before, just to like get on level. All right, last but not least, our article is about debunking rumors. Let's debunk the rumor. So, there was a rumor about Sony acquiring Take-Two, and Take-Two is renowned for the Red Dead Redemption franchise, and they're also known for Rockstar and 2K games. So if they did acquire them, they would also be acquiring the Grand Theft Auto series, which would be insane, because Sony would then have this giant exclusivity deal on all these awesome first-person shooters that aren't Call of Duty. Of course, it's all bullshit. It would be amazing if it was true, though, because that would just be a huge success for Sony and exclusivities. If you kind of compare, as we have in the past, Xbox exclusives, and I mean true exclusives, meaning that they're not available on PC, it's not a timed exclusive, only available on that console. Xbox has very, very few. It's tiny, minuscule amount compared to PlayStation.
Yeah, we covered that in our last episode.
And basically this was all pulled from a guy doing pure market speculation. He's not wrong on the idea that it would be phenomenal for Sony to do it. It was just wrong for then everybody to report on it as if it would be true.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he got a bunch of Twitter attention and was like, oh God, I'm so sorry. Which is understandable. He freaked out because he became famous off of market speculation overnight.
Did make both companies' stock go up, though.
I'm not surprised. Stuff like that has real-world effects. And I also would not be surprised, especially because I'm so paranoid, if someone paid him to make said speculation. And I also would not be surprised that if someone sold the stocks during this time, the FCC would be fucking investigating their asses because
I mean, you would hope so.
it's happened so many times with Elon Musk now, that
Right.
they're just like, hey, I see you're posted on Twitter, and you're trying to increase the prices, and that's illegal. At least for us layman people. Yeah. But, yep, that was the end of our rumor mill, so let's go ahead and jump to our favorite game on the face of the planet. The Price is Right. We're going to do some eBay listings. What do we have today?
Alright, so I've got something a little bit different than the usual today.
Oh, God, different.
Today I have a 1,082 piece video game lot.
Holy shit, this is a magnificent picture of a video wall.
Yep.
It is. It's a
You're-
full lot.
You are buying this guy's collection today. Here's some of the consoles that you're going to be buying. You can see that there's two. Is that... I can't tell what that is.
I don't know. They're not Super Nintendos, though.
Yeah.
There
is two new Super
There are
Nintendos
two
as well.
Super Nintendos on the right, and then
There's a two
A
N64s,
S.
Yep, there's
a
two.
Genesis.
Yep, there's some classic games with a bunch of controllers, and I assume there's a Nintendo 64 in there.
Oh, there's two
GameCube?
64s.
There's two 64s. Okay.
One in box.
No GameCube.
No GameCube, unfortunately. No.
Yeah. Continue. Oh wow! Look at all these games. This is
That
ridiculous.
is a lot of games.
So I don't know, 50 plus. Go ahead and hit the next one. Bunch of shit I can't see because
These are all Super NES games. You can barely tell because they're small.
Thank goodness he took a tiny picture of it. Mm-hmm.
Another
More
tiny picture.
pictures.
Way to go, Tiny Picture Man.
See, we're really big on resolution.
Oh, these are like are these games or VHSs?
No, these are games. This is Zelda.
Awesome
This is
box
Batman.
art.
These are all
Okay.
NES games.
Remember when games had box art? Pepperidge Farms remembers.
Here we've got bigger images. More of the collection that you would be buying.
I still have my box for Battletoads
Hmm.
because I'm just a scrub.
Nice.
Um,
Even more images. And that's about it. Oh,
$1
Wow.
billion.
Well,
What do you want to guess the price is, Wade?
17,950.
I'm going to guess and 1 cent. Let's see.
I'm just going to be done with eBay listings for this episode.
So we tried and failed, unfortunately. Oh,
Wow.
OBS Studio disconnecting, reconnecting. Oh, your internet's probably twittering out.
No, it's on. It's steady.
Oh, I know, but your
Oh, my connection.
it's just dead. But that's okay. We can fail in eBay listings. Let's go ahead and jump on to media recommendations. What have you been watching, reading, or listening to today?
Nothing today.
Okay, well, how about this week?
I've actually started watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure dubbed. I'd watched the first couple episodes in Japanese, but I hadn't finished or gone beyond that. So I finally started watching it. I'm like on episode 12 or 13, which is like halfway through the first season. I don't know if there's any more seasons beyond that, but I don't think they've been dubbed yet.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was dubbed or not. I never can remember. It's actually really good. What have you been reading, watching, listening to?
I mean, not a terrible amount.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I'll put on Parks and Rec in the background a lot of the time. That's. Oh, I started watching BoJack Horseman. Still don't know how I feel about it. It's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say BoJack Horseman's kind of hit or miss, and then I'm also like, if they just weren't animals, it'd be a completely different show.
Well, they also wouldn't be able to air a lot of the stuff they do because it's animation, so they can get away with a lot.
Right, that's kind of my
shit.
point. It'd just be a completely different show.
Oh yeah,
They're sort of obscuring
pretty
it.
dark.
Yeah, they're obscuring it by doing it animated with animals. I've been watching Black Mirror, and I had known about Black Mirror for a very long time. And I watched the first episode, and it just turned me off immediately. And the first episode is some dude just fucking a pig. And it just doesn't matter for like what the reasons are. It's a very long story, but it literally like end of the story, guy fucks a pig. And it's the worst episode that you could introduce someone to a series. So I just it's been like, I don't even know, 2, 3, maybe 4 years since it's been out. And I was finally like, I'm going to try to watch the other episodes. Well, a lot of them are hit or miss. I managed to find 2 episodes that I liked. One was called Space Fleet, the other was called Playtest. In Playtest, a guy basically gets a device embedded into the back of his head, and he basically playtests a new AR game that makes him go crazy insane. It's a very clever way to warn people about, the perils of AR, which most people don't even know about because they're doing VR. And AR is just like augmented reality, meaning that you would see something covering over the existing thing. So, for example, I could look at a table that's like super crappy, and instead, using AR, I could make it look beautiful and exotic. And the thing and the idea behind that is you could basically make a poor person that's in the middle of nowhere with bumfuck nothing think and feel like they're in the most extravagant place on the face of the earth. Because you could just augment everything they look and see into something else.
That'd be pretty sick, though.
Yeah, and it's also super dangerous. It feels like it's scarier than VR, because VR you can separate because it's a different world. You believe that and understand you're inside a video game, while the AR is literally masking things over your existing reality.
Right.
It was a pretty cool episode. The second M. Night Shyamalan twist ending is exactly what it sounds like. It's a M. Night Shyamalan twist ending, so you could just cut that the fuck off and feed it to M. Night Shyamalan. He'll just gobble it up. This
twist.
Yeah, that's just they were trying to be like, hey, and it's like no. The second one was Space Fleet. I don't remember the main character who's playing in this. Looks super familiar. And I want to say Mark Wahlberg, but I don't know if that makes sense for Mark Wahlberg to be in Black Mirror. But he plays a programmer who's making a VR game. See the running idea here. And in his modified version of the VR game that he's selling, he's not selling his modded version, just he's selling a regular VR game, but he has a modded one at home. He basically plays out their version of like Starfleet, which would be Star Trek. And he's like on a ship, and he's a captain, and he's pretending like he's the captain, and he's like forcing all these people to do things. And it goes from like this really awesome idea that he's like created this universe where he can be a captain, to like an actual horror movie where all of the people that are in the game are like cloned specimens of people outside in the real world.
Oh, wow.
And they all have the same genetic memories of the people outside in the real world. And basically whoever pisses him off in the real world, he goes and gets their DNA and puts them inside his game and forces them to play in this sick, demented Star Fleet game where he's the fucking captain and they have to do whatever he wants to. And like the moment someone like gets out of line, it literally turns into like nightmarish horror where there's a new person that works for him. He, at the end of the day, swabs her coffee cup, and she's like the sweetest person. Like it's just 100% undeserving. They really make you realize this guy's just fucking crazy. Swabs her coffee cup at the end of the day, puts it in this like 3D printer thing. It programs it into his computer. She then wakes up as a new person with the same memories as the previous person inside the video game. Freaks out when everybody explains to her that she's like inside a video game and that this is her life now and she's just fucked. The guy comes in and she just like is like, fuck you, I'm not going to do anything that you want me to. And he just basically removes her eyes and removes her face, and she can't like suffocate and die because he controls like the universe because it's inside of a game. So she just struggles for like 45 seconds. And he's like, you're not going to die. You're just going to stay there in pain, blinded, gasping for air, until you decide you want to play Starfleet. And it just goes fucking off the rails.
That's wild.
Alien creatures that you encounter are also real people who have pissed him off that had already been transferred into the game, but disobeyed him. So he turns them into like a grotesque mutant creature with like extra limbs that's just this disgusting amalgamation. And it's so dark, it's so fucked up. So those 2 episodes were great. Highly recommend Black Mirror, Space Fleet, and Playtest. All the other episodes I just rolled my eyes at and literally like kept skipping forward. And I was like, is there a story here? Nope. It's just like shock value.
So from what I understood, it's kind of the same setup as what's it called? I mean, it's a different story each episode. Right?
Yeah. There's no
continuity.
No continuity
Okay.
whatsoever. I assume different directors and everything.
Okay.
But yeah, that Space Fleet one was like a special, and it was like an hour and 20 minutes long. So I watched a legitimate horror movie of people being inside like a VR game. Like, I was so surprised how long it was and how good it was compared to all the others where I'm just like, God, these are bad. There was one where they were doing like America's Got Talent, but it's in the future where everybody's just a fucking drone zombie and has to like pedal on a bicycle, give electrical energy for the network. And the only way you stop doing that is to win America's Got Talent so that you can stop pedaling on a bicycle and just be like a super rich person with everything. And you gain credits for pedaling on the bicycle. And this guy has like 15 million credits saved up. And everybody else is just super stupid and uses their credits to buy stuff for their avatars, like clothing, like all these little add-ons. Because they can't buy real stuff in real life. There's no like physical object for you to buy. It's all just avatars. And he's the one guy that's like, I'm not going to spend anything on credits. And then he meets a girl and gives her the 15 million. She goes on America Got Talent and sings. And she has a beautiful voice. And they're like, sorry, your voice isn't beautiful enough. You'll have to do porn. And she's like, okay. And that's the end of the episode.
Wow, that's
Yep. And I'm like, alright, well, a lot of these episodes are garbage. Like, you have 4 seasons where there's like 3 to 6 episodes, and a lot of them are just garbage. But they have shock value, so everybody talks about them. You know, there's only those 2 that I was like, ooh. Like I said, one of them was like a legitimate fucking movie. But yeah, if you're interested in that, I hadn't started on audiobooks. I hadn't done anything else. Y'all watch anything or read anything else?
No, just JoJo's, which is... I need to finish the first season before I can really talk about it.
We didn't talk about it at the beginning, but video games we played this week. We obviously did our another LAN party of RimWorld. Streamed for like 8-ish hours.
Yep.
That was pretty awesome.
Yep.
My character Jenny died. RIP.
2 of the 3
Rip Jenny.
originals.
Yep. 2 of our 3 OG characters are dead in a graveyard. Massive graveyard. Just like 50 graves of just so many people have died. We got up to like a dozen people, and then I think we went back down to like 8 or 9.
Yeah, we're at 8 now.
Yeah.
Poor Matthew.
Yep.
It's funny, like, our shooters, we get 2 really good ones, 2 pretty good ones, and then 2 mediocre, and then the really good ones die, and then
That's exactly what happens. The really good ones die, and then we're just stuck with people that are so mediocre.
well, they're like cycling out on the shooting, at least, because the 2 mediocre people are now as good as the really good people were, and I'm like, well, you're about to die. I'm sorry to let you know.
Yeah.
You've been with us for too long.
Yep.
But yeah, you can check out our highlights on Twitch TV. Well, actually, you can check out our highlights on YouTube, and you can check out the full stream on Twitch for the next 15 days.
Yeah.
Oh.
Retro Chronicle, it should be archived there. What else have you played? Anything else?
I've been playing World of Final Fantasy on Switch.
Oh.
It's basically Final Fantasy Pokemon.
That's an interesting idea.
So instead of like weakening monsters to be able to catch them, you have to complete certain conditions. Like some of them will be like, oh, you have to use a healing spell on this monster to actually be able to catch it. Things like that.
Okay.
And instead of having like one monster that you throw out at a time, you have two main characters. You can choose two different forms of them, and they're either going to be like large size or medium size. And then you stack monsters onto them. So if they're medium size, you can stack a large monster on the bottom and then a small monster on top.
Oh.
And if they're large, you can do a medium monster on top of them and a small monster on top of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so they'll get different abilities based off the monsters that you use.
That's
so like if
so
you
funky.
Yeah, so if you stack like fire users on them, you'll have like really strong fire spells. But if you stack a fire and water monster, you'll have like fire spells and water spells in that one character.
Kind of unrelated, but because you were talking about Pokemon, did you see that the creators of Pokemon Go are going to make a Harry Potter version of that?
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah, and they already have like previews and shit, and it's literally like, choose
Catching monsters.
Well, it's
Choose
like
your house.
you're fighting like fucking wizards and doing like spells and shit, and yeah, like choose your house, like pick your wands, the whole fucking
There's
thing.
gonna be so many fucking people who
There's-
throw their phones or something.
I just keep thinking about like
unless it's all
there's gonna be like some religious people that are gonna lose their shit when like there's kids running around casting spells dressing up as wizards.
yeah.
Like that's really going to like hit a not okay thorn with people. So I can't wait. Good job, Namco. You've done the world greatness.
Isn't it Niantic?
Sure, Niantic. Know who Namco is?
Namco does
Bandai.
like, yeah.
Oh, Namco. But yeah, you can look forward to that Wizarding World game in the future, wherever Muggles are. Have you been playing anything else besides RimWorld?
I've been playing Battlefield 4 because I've been missing the sweet satisfaction of shooting helicopters down with missiles. And I even did that, and someone was like, "Nice RPG." The guy shut down, but I don't know how to get into chat, so I couldn't respond.
Oh no!
I know how to shoot stuff, and that's all I worry about right now.
It's nice though that you got complimented, and it's not like just toxic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the player base is pretty small now. There's a couple servers that I go to that are frequently populated. So
Awesome.
I'm like, awesome. I have a not kickable ping, and I can play here.
Final.
Justice.
Yes. Well, if nobody else wants to talk about any of the other games they played this week.
I don't think I have anything else. I mean, besides the Jackbox games that we obviously got down
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we did that. That was the thing.
Yeah, and we'll probably do some more in the future. We've been streaming Jackbox, trying to get viewers to play with us, and we've had some semi-success.
Ish.
Yeah.
We had one night where we got a full house, had 8+ more players. Then we streamed another time and struggled trying to get some viewers in. But yeah, we'll be doing more in the future. Same thing with RimWorld and hopefully some Diablo in the near future.
Hopefully.
But yeah, I think that's it for us.
Yep. Y'all have a wonderful night.
All right, thank you for watching.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah, today's St. Patty's Day. I
Yep.
can get drunker.
Get drunk. Bye.
Bye bye.